Hey, Bold and Truth family, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I am showing up each and every day for the next 90 days for the woman of faith that's assigned to my voice, that needs my pour, and also desires to glean from the wisdom that came from my wounds. Today, we're going to talk about the messy middle. Is when things are ending, but you're not quite sure where exactly God is taking you. A time of transition can be very scary. It can be very hard because you don't quite understand what God is doing in your life. You know that things are ending on one end, but you're not quite sure what is the new thing that God is taking you through. And it is my hope that as I share my testimony and as I share how I was able to navigate the messy middle, that you will be able to do the same. The first thing I want to encourage you with when it comes to transition is to be honest about your feelings. I think oftentimes when it comes to God, we want to have this facade because we want to be seen as someone that's not complaining, or we really just want to hide how we feel, or we feel like if we express the way that we feel to God, that somehow makes us less spiritual or not a woman or a man of faith. But that is exactly the opposite. God already knows the way that we feel. He knows that we may be having a tough time with this change and with this transition. He is fully aware of that, but he desires that we be honest with him and to take those feelings to him so that he can help us to filter what we're feeling so it does not dictate the way that we act. I'm going to be honest with you. When God began to close doors, when he began to give me instructions to close my business and cut off other sources of income that I had, I didn't understand. And immediately he did not reveal what the next thing was. I felt like I was in the dark. I felt like I did not know what was going on. And honestly, I was upset. I was hurt. I didn't understand why God would call me to something. Then before he gives me the instructions, let me make this huge investment in the thing that he had entrusted into my hands only to take it away. What I had to remember is that God wanted me to lean into him. He wanted me to be vulnerable. He wanted me to be open about my feelings and the way that I felt. So my first tip to you as you're navigating transition is you truly have to be honest with God about the way that you feel, because in a time of transition is a very sensitive time and you don't want to act out of your emotions. You don't want to do anything that can disrupt the process that God is taking you through to get you to your next destination. The other thing I want to encourage you with is that you have to remember what God said. Listen, I literally wrote on a whiteboard in my home, God is making room for more. Although it looked like, it felt like, and it was, God stripping my entire life. There's so many things that he told me to lay down. So many things he told me to let go of. I mean, closing down the business. That means having conversations with clients that we can no longer serve you. That means closing down systems. That means having conversations with other people to let them know, hey, we are no longer in business, or no, I can no longer do this. It was a time of truly God stripping my life, stripping me of the old. But honestly, I had no clue of what my next or what the new looked like. For me, I was fine with God taking away the old as long as he released the new into my hands at the same time. And that is not how it works. I believe that I needed a season of rest. I needed a season alone with him. I needed a season to recharge and to be refreshed and renewed for the new that he had for me. But I cannot tell you the number of times that with tears in my eyes, I said, God is making room for more. God is making room for more. Because remember, he gave me that prophetic word in July. And then he gave me the instructions to close everything down around October. I had to hold on to that word for dear life. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through a season of transition, you got to hold on to what God said in the light. You have to hold on to the word because he's giving you that word for a reason, because you're going to have to hold on to that word because your life, your circumstances, the things around you are not going to reflect that word. It's going to be the complete opposite. But he wants you to know that you are going to make it out on the other side. He wants you to know that what he's taking you through and the road that he is taking you down is leading you to more, is leading you to a promotion, is leading you to lifting, is leading you to your next level. But you have to trust God in the messy middle. So I encourage you, write it down, recite it, keep it somewhere, replay it, record yourself saying it, listen to it, feed your faith, and feed your faith with the word that God has already deposited in your spirit before you enter that time of transition. The next tip I want to encourage you with is to make sure that you're spending time with God. Listen, I was so tempted. And there was a week where I really backed up off of my devotion, which is crazy for me to say out loud, but that's how painful this time of transition was for me. It was so painful. I didn't understand. I felt like God literally stripped my entire life and left me with nothing and also no instructions. But yet you're saying you're making room for more, and this looks like much less. So there were times where I was tempted to back up off of my devotion, but I want to encourage you in the messy middle is not the time to back up from your personal devotion and time alone with the Lord. You have to press in. Even if you go into your prayer closet, you go into your room, you go into your car, and you just sit in his presence and you just share with him how hard this is, how you don't understand. Whatever you may be feeling in that moment, stay in his presence. Still continue to keep your prayer life going. Still read the word. I'm telling you that scripture in Mark 2, when it talks about new wine cannot go into old wineskin. I had to keep reading that scripture over and over because although I didn't feel like it, although it didn't look like it, I had to know and believe that God is doing something new in my life. And in order for him to release the new, I have to release the old. I must change. Things must change. The structure must change. The direction must change. I had to believe and truly feel my spirit to know that something new is on the other side of what I cannot see. Something is on the other side of where I find myself, which is the messy middle. And then lastly, I want to encourage you that if God gives you any instructions in this time of the messy middle, do not delay. Move on it. Because I truly believe that we can cause ourselves to be in that season of the messy middle much longer than we need to be if we're not obedient to the instructions of the Lord. And this is why your continual devotion, your continual prayer time, seeking his face, even if it's nothing but tears, even if it's nothing but silence, you're making yourself available. You're surrendering yourself to say, okay, God, I surrender to this process, right? I believe that you are doing something on the other side of this that's going to be much greater. There's a work that you're doing in my life. There's a work that you're doing in my heart. There's a work that you're doing in my spirit, and I surrender to it because you never know that God may give you specific instructions that you need to execute in the messy middle. You need to execute on now so that when you get to next, you will be ready to move forward. You'll be fully prepared. So I want to encourage you, any instructions that the Lord gives you in the messy middle, make sure you obey. I'm sharing this with you on today to help you navigate that time. I'm not going to say it's all easy, and I'm not going to say you're going to get it all right. It is my hope that you are encouraged to know that you're going to get to the other side of this. You are going to get through the messy middle, and when you see what the Lord has in store for you, you are going to rejoice. I decree and declare that just like Joseph, you're going to have that testimony that God has made me forget the pain of my father's house. Listen, I decree and declare that God is going to make you forget the pain of the transition. When you see the fruit, when you see the increase, when you see the next level that God has ordained for your life, I decree and declare that you will not remember the pain no more. The same way that a mother does not remember the pain of giving birth. That's why she'll be ready to give birth to another child because she didn't remember the pain of the process. I decree and declare that God is going to do something so great in your life that you don't even remember the pain. Even as I speak here on today, it was such a painful time. But even as I do this video, I had to really think about the pain. I had to really think about how it felt. So I decree and declare over your life on today that as you navigate the messy middle, that God is going to make you forget all the pain, all the toil of the process of getting you there. Listen, if this video blessed you, if it helped you in any way, listen, I want you to give this video a thumbs up. And I want you to put in the comment section below, God, I trust you. God, I trust you. Listen, if you are not officially a part of the Bold and Truth family, I want you to go ahead, make the decision to subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can stay connected. And listen, you guys, thank you for being here. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for day 7 of our 90 days of showing up for women of faith just like you. Bye.